welcome. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for making time for this. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
And the audience, I think, are going to love this
Mm.
because your story is actually such an inspiring story.
Thank you so much.
And it feels like you could give so much to the
Mm.
community that they could learn from.
Mm.
And we're hoping that we give them some of your insights from your mind
Mm.
and some of your hearts so others could maybe follow your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So maybe you could just start with just a little bit brief about who you are and how you got here and what are you doing now?
Okay. So my name is Faizan Mahmood, and I'm an entrepreneur myself. I run a financial product. It's called Capital Stake, and we provide analytics on the stock market.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great.
so my entrepreneurial journey was something that I had never planned for.
Okay.
So basically, I have a background in finance. So technology is something that I was completely unfamiliar with.
Mhm.
So one of my co-founders, who also happens to be my cousin, Bilal, told me about entrepreneurship, startups, and incubators, and he kind of forced me to go to an incubator. Otherwise, I never planned to do that.
Okay.
So that's how I started, and we got incubated in an incubator.
Okay.
And then after that, once I got my startup rolling and it performed really well, then I started working with the government.
Okay.
So the government was focusing a lot to promote entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So I was the program manager of the only incubator in the country at that time,
Wow.
which is called Plan 9.
Okay.
So that's how my entrepreneurial journey started. And then I contributed in the IT policy of the province. I contributed in the venture capital and private equity regulations of the country.
Wow.
And in parallel, I ran an exchange program for the State Department, for
Okay.
DFID,
Mm.
for Australian High Commission, and I also taught at a university in entrepreneurship course. So it was a lot going on.
You say the least.
Yeah. So right now, what's happening is that I'm heading an incubator based out of Lahore called Innovation District 92,
Okay.
and it's owned by the Superior Group. The Superior Group has very diverse business. They are into education, and the director of the university, Dr. Sumaira Rahman, has a lot of focus on entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So she's a co-founder of the Innovation District 92, and the other co-founder is Nabil Kadir, who also happens to be my director at Plan 9.
Okay.
So we have a continued relationship with him. That's a brief introduction of what I'm currently doing. And in parallel, as we speak, I'm also managing 3 programs of the U.S. State Department in Pakistan.
Fantastic. I mean, what an amazing accomplishments.
Yeah.
And it feels like you just full of more energy to give
Mm.
more, right? I'm assuming.
Yes,
So-
yes. That's a focus. And the other thing is to promote Pakistan on a global platform.
Okay.
It's really important to show what Pakistan has to offer. It's not like what's being quoted on the media. So it's about projecting Pakistan's image on a global platform.
Great. So how did you stumble? I know you were forced to go to the incubator,
Hmm.
but how did you come up with this idea to put on the stock exchange on this platform? How did you come up with this?
So basically, I was studying financial management during my college studies,
Okay.
and one of my professors encouraged me to invest in stocks. So I said, okay, why not? Let's experiment.
Yeah.
No problem. So I was studying the course.
Okay.
And at the same time, I would go home. I opened an account with the brokerage firm, and I started into the stock exchange.
Awesome.
And then what I did was I applied my theoretical knowledge that I was learning in the course
Okay.
to the stock exchange,
Okay.
and I got some decent results out of it.
Good.
So I thought that it's a good business model. And then I was working with an audit firm, and I got the opportunity to conduct an internal audit of the exchange itself. So I showed it to the management of the exchange,
Yeah.
and they were like super impressed. They wanted to buy the product out. Then I consulted with my cousin, who's a techie,
Yes.
and he was like, "Why are you selling it? Let's build a business around it." I was like, "I don't know how to do it."
Yeah.
He said, I'll handle the tech, you handle the business, and we'll start off. So that's how the entire journey
Wow.
of our startup actually initiated.
I mean, what an inspiring story. I mean, it sounds like
Mm.
you really did what most entrepreneurs don't realize that they should be doing,
Mm.
which is tested the market, you played with it, you were
Yes.
somewhat of an insider by playing with the game,
Mm.
and then you learned a lot from it, it sounds
Yes.
like.
So I've coached a lot of startups over the last few years.
Yeah.
I've interacted with more than 150 startups.
Mm.
And
That's a lot of
what
work.
you just mentioned
Yeah.
is really important. The startups, what they usually do is they first develop the product,
Yeah.
and then go to the market testing.
Too late.
I did the opposite.
It's
I
great.
tested it in the market, just an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Just an Excel sheet.
Wow.
I got a good response. I decided let's build a product around it.
That's great. What a great story. So through this journey, I'm sure there are lots of good and bad and everything in between. But what would be one of the things that you struggled with and you overcome? What would that be? Like one big one?
So I think persistence was a major contributor in my entire startup because I'm dealing with the equity markets. So it's very sensitive information
For sure.
because people would take decisions of billions of rupees on the data that I'm presenting to them.
Yes.
So it needs to be accurate, it needs to be unbiased, and it needs to be very timely.
Okay.
And for that purpose, we were a very young company.
Okay.
And we have a joint venture with the stock exchange itself.
Wow.
Pakistan Stock Exchange
Wow.
official data portal is being managed by my company.
It's amazing.
So I had the opportunity to talk to the MD. That's how I always prefer to do business. Start from the top,
Work your
so,
way
and
down.
work with you down. So it facilitates everything. So the MD approved my project,
Okay.
but it still took us 1.5 years of due diligence to get it implemented.
Wow. Wow. What a long journey.
Yeah, it's a huge journey.
Most people give up.
And yeah, most people would give up, and we would have given up too, but it was just being persistent and being positive about it. Okay, there might be something coming up, because for a startup it's not making any revenues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we have a team,
Yeah.
we need to pay.
Yeah.
And still working around it, it was really challenging.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate
Mm.
that. So, as you went through your journey, I'm sure there were some surprises that were, maybe great surprises. You thought it was going to be hard, and it was much easier than you thought. Is there an example of that?
So one interesting thing is that I found a very good mentor.
Okay.
His name is Dr. Salman Shah.
Okay.
He was the ex-finance minister of Pakistan.
Okay. Wow.
So
Great mentor.
ex-finance minister. So it's a huge post.
Yeah.
We have the prime minister and the finance minister, the most important officers in the government. And I was of this opinion: why would he meet me? Why would he meet me?
Right.
And he was also chairman of the Lahore Stock Exchange at that time. But I just cold called him, and he was like, "Yeah, come and meet me. Come to my residence."
Wow.
We went there.
It gave me goosebumps. Actually, that's great.
Yeah, so it was really surprising, and he was very supportive. So what we did then? He gave me the permission. He connected me to the managing director of the main stock exchange, which was the Karachi Stock Exchange. Now it's called PS6, Pakistan Stock Exchange. So the interesting thing was that I used his name without his permission and cold called everyone, every brokerage firm, that Dr. Salman Shah has recommended me to meet you. And they were like, Dr. Salman Shah? I was like, yeah, Dr. Salman Shah. He's like, okay, just come over, just come over. So, that's how I met a lot of my clients and secured contracts.
Great. What a great insight also for the story.
Yeah.
That's congratulations on
Thank
all
you.
the success.
Thank you.
It seems like you even know, seems like it's just even the beginning of your journey. Although it seems like you've accomplished so much.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So as we leave our audiences, and there are many who would be listening on this, what would be like 1 to 2 words that you would leave an inspiring entrepreneur today with?
So my recommendation to entrepreneurs would be that most of the entrepreneurs coming up with products are tech based. So most of them are engineers. So they always undervalue the importance of accounting, business models, and management.
Okay.
So that's a very important consideration. And the other challenge is that as soon as you see the first drop of money coming into your business, conflicts arise between the founders. So I believe that no company can progress if the founders are not honest to each other and they don't trust each other.
Okay.
So no matter whether you're going up the hill or down the hill, in both cases, you need to be very collaborative.
Okay.
You need to respect each other, and you need to account for professionals. So it can't be, you can't just get your
best
head,
buddy, your friend.
you can't just be like, I know everything.
Sure.
So mentors and seasoned professionals play a vital role. So you should be always on the outlook to find mentors and advisors for your company.
Wow, you give much more than the 2 words I asked for.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and thank you for joining us here today. And it's an honor for me to be in this beautiful
Mhm.
Lahore, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you
welcome
very
you
much.
to Pakistan.
Thank you very much.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Take care.